And welcome to the second annual African Film Festival Atlanta. My name is Mojisola Shonoiki, and I'm the founder and executive director of the African Film and Arts Foundation, producers of the African Film Festival Atlanta. The African Film and Arts Foundation is a non-profit 501c3 media arts organization based in Atlanta, Georgia. Our mission is to magnify and celebrate the visions, voices, lives, and stories of people from Africa and the African diaspora. We execute our mission currently by producing two main events. One is called Cinema for the Culture, a monthly film screening and in-conversation session with filmmakers. And the second event is the African Film Festival Atlanta, which is why we're here today, a 3-day festival showcasing films from around the world. Our theme this year is redefining the African voice, one story at a time. Being responsible for highlighting the brilliance of new and emerging filmmakers is a feat that the African Film and Arts Foundation is committed to being a forerunner in. This festival offers the opportunity to support the ever-growing African film community in Atlanta. Atlanta has a significant number of African migrants and is reputed to be the third largest settlement for Africans in the USA. Coupled with the fact that Atlanta is the epicenter of the film industry in Georgia, a state that produces the largest quantity of film in the USA, a homegrown African Film Festival in Atlanta is long overdue. That's my introduction. So we have with us today as our keynote speaker, Her Excellency Ambassador Dr. Amina Smaila. We also have with us today some of our board members from the foundation. So the first thing I would like to do is to introduce our board members from the foundation. And I'd like them to do that themselves. So I'm going to start with you, LD. If you could please introduce yourself. If you could unmute yourself, please.
Yeah, that's usually always a challenge when we do the Zoom things. Hi, everyone. My name is Lanry Debris, popularly known as LD. I am, I guess, an Afrobeats pioneer. Started making this music in the mid-90s and have basically been sort of a custodian of the culture over the past couple of decades. And I'm happy to be here.
Thank you for being here. Jose?
Hey, good morning, everybody. My name is Jose Kweku, and I would just say that I'm a bridge builder for the African culture, trying to really establish stronger relationships between in the diaspora and someone who's also been a champion of Afrobeat from here in Atlanta as well. So thank you. Good morning.
Terry?
Hi, I'm Terry, and I am an actress and a filmmaker, director, and producer based here in Atlanta. I am happy to be on this board. I have done a few projects over on the continent of Africa and South Africa specifically. And I want to continue that journey, continue to create content that kind of bridges the diaspora between the African American and our brothers and sisters on the continent. So I'm excited to be on it. I'm excited to find ways to create more content that kind of embraces all of us. And that's why I'm here. So thanks.
And on a side note, Terry, I'm going to have to say this. Terry did her DNA, and she's now Olayinka.
Yes, happily, proudly.
Thank you, Terry. Bolaji?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes, yeah, good morning to everyone. Good morning, Madam Ambassador, and welcome to Atlanta. And thank you for the opportunity to giving us access to you. I am Bolaji Daudu, president of World Audience Promotion. We manage a lot of African artists, including Femi Kuti, King Sunny Ade, Ebenezer Obey, and etc. I am also a liaison nominee to African community through the office of Senator John Ossoff, so to have access to our community through his office. I'm on the board of AFA, and I'm glad to be here, and welcome again.
Thank you. I think that's everybody now. So I would now like to officially introduce our keynote speaker, Her Excellency Ambassador Dr. Amina Smaila. Hand over to you, Her Excellency.
Thank you very much, and good morning once again to everyone. First off, the founder, African Film and Art Foundation, my dear sister, Mojishala, board members of the African Film and Art Foundation, most illustrious members of our creative industry, other esteemed guests, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. It is an honor to join you today for the second annual African Film Festival of Atlanta. I thank you once again, Ms. Mojishala Sonaiki, the festival director and board members for providing yet again a unique and much needed platform to discuss one of the defining issues of our time, telling African stories with an African voice. I commend your efforts in initiating the first homegrown African Film Festival in Atlanta, which provides a space to showcase films by Africans and people of African descent, and more broadly, to express African creativity at its best. Whether in arts, music, poetry, spoken word, drama, theater, or films, creativity has increasingly become the most valued tool for the expression of our identity as Africans. This is why the theme for this year's festival, Redefining the African Voice, One Story at a Time, is central to reshaping and taking ownership of the African narrative in all of its diversity, depth, and beauty. Our voices matter. Our voices must tell our stories, often untold or distorted or incomplete. For so long, others have told our stories. The marginalization of African and Black filmmaking has led to long-standing historical injustices that must be corrected. In the words of the great Nigerian author, one of my favorites, Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie, stories have been used to dispossess and to malign, but stories can also be used to empower and to humanize. Stories can break the dignity of a people, but stories can also repair that broken dignity. Ladies and gentlemen, this power and centrality of stories and of the arts to humanity become even more apparent during the COVID-19 pandemic, the reality which we found ourselves in. Millions of people confined at home found refuge, inspiration, and comfort in the arts. The pandemic also had a severe impact on the global film industry, and this was reflected broadly across other art disciplines. It is estimated that the global movie industry lost over $32 billion in revenue. For the first time in more than 2 decades, the global box office revenue dropped below $13 billion. Yet, this crisis stimulated innovation within the arts. We saw innovative approaches in support of the arts through the use of virtual platforms, but also an unprecedented expansion in the quality, quantity, and depth of available content. Streaming platforms expanded their reach to bring diverse content. And in many developing countries, more traditional means such as radio acquired new fellowship. During these times of great uncertainty, the arts has allowed millions of strangers to connect in ways that created a sense of belonging to a common humanity. But these changes also highlighted that the promising future of arts, especially filmmaking, and the accelerated changes in modes of delivering content cannot be separated from the imperative of inclusion and making every voice matter. Increasingly, the arts have become an important avenue for deconstructing key social issues and addressing questions of social justice, such as the unfinished struggle for equality, racism, discrimination, and xenophobia, amongst others. This is true for contexts characterized by a lack of resources, enabling environment, difficulty in access to funding and a dearth of adequate training. Ladies and gentlemen, hello? Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you. Go on, we can hear you.
Hello?
Hi, we can hear you. We can hear you. Uh-oh, okay. Moses, are you gonna try and get her back?
Yes, I will.
Okay.
Let me make a call real quick.
Okay. All right, in the meantime, I'm so sorry, Joe. I didn't introduce you because you're not on my board. I was just introducing my board members. So I guess we could do that now. If you could just introduce yourself, please.
Sure, yeah, thank you for having me. My name is Joe Braun. I'm an Atlanta-based documentary filmmaker now, although I've had a long history in the entertainment industry going back to the early 2000s, where I worked on a couple of key hit television shows. Other than that, I just got tired of living in Los Angeles, so that's why I relocated here to Atlanta. And it's quite the community. I will say that I've absolutely loved the community of creatives here in Atlanta, and I've been here for I don't know, close to 15 years now. So it's definitely home for me.
Okay, all right. So I'm just wondering how we can all stay in touch with you. Do you have a website, email? What would be the best way of staying in touch with you?
Yeah, I'll throw all of that content up into the chat, and you
Okay.
can copy it and share it as you need.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, all right. So I think she's coming back in now. Okay, you got it. Thank you. I'm sure we'll all be glad when this whole virtual thing is over. Lord. Okay.
Hello?
Hi.
Oh my goodness. Am I back in?
Yes, you are.
Wow, sorry about that.
No problem. It's the
So
internet.
may I continue?
Yes, sure. Please go ahead.
Yeah, so I spoke of the social injustices just as the unfinished struggle for equality, racism, discrimination, and xenophobia against others. And I mentioned that it's quite true for contexts characterized by a lack of resources, enabling environment, difficulty in access to funding, and a dearth of adequate training. Now more than ever, we must begin to allow our humanity to express itself and drive our moments of healing from fears and apprehensions. The role of filmmakers and artists as the custodians of our heritage cannot be overstated. I'm heartened to see that artists of African heritage are advancing the African narrative and having tremendous impact despite the many structural barriers they face. By way of illustration, Nollywood of Nigeria has become the third largest film industry in the world after Hollywood and Bollywood. The creative industry has become one of the largest employers of labor and drivers of the Nigerian national economy. A recent study found that creative industries are a job multiplier and generate $4.2 billion in revenue across the continent. Nollywood generates about $600 to $800 million annually for the Nigerian economy, employs indirectly more than 1 million people per year, and in 2016 contributed about 1.3% to the country's GDP, and they continue to do so. However, our artists cannot do it alone. Governments must support the growth and development of the arts. The support of the government of Nigeria is also noteworthy. Under the current administration of President Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR, the Creative Industries Finance Initiative was established in 2019 as a scheme to, among others, provide members of the entertainment community access to a pool of dedicated resources and funding for movie production, support for relevant information technology services and training, and equipment fees for music business. The government of Nigeria has also provided seed funding of over $55 million to various activities along the entertainment value chain, from studies, writing, production, and marketing. At the regional level, the African Development Bank also announced a number of similar initiatives to enable African artists and entertainers to partner with themselves and their counterparts from around the world. Additionally, the African Export-Import Bank recently announced a whopping $500 million facility for the African creative industry. I therefore encourage you to take advantage of these and other opportunities as you tell the important stories of our peoples to the world. That is why the commitment of this forum in bringing together members of the African creative community is most important. It is against this backdrop that we must, through our stories, continue to define African filmmaking as a vessel for the articulation of some of our highest aspirations of our rich and proud history. In this regard, ladies and gentlemen, I assure you of my personal commitment and that of the Consulate General of Nigeria here in Atlanta in this noble endeavor. I thank you so much for your kind attention.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Thank you very much. I really, really appreciate you being here. I know it was all last minute, but I really do appreciate it. So we look forward to meeting with you in person. I would like to, I actually live down the road from the office. So I'm not.
You're welcome anytime. This is your home. And sorry about the technical glitch.
No problem. So yes, we would definitely like to meet you in person, and we will talk about that offline. But I just want to thank you again, and then welcome everybody to the beginning of the second annual African Film Festival Atlanta. We're very excited. We're looking forward to doing this in person. Unfortunately, again, this year, everything is online, but we have an after party in person on Sunday. So we're going to send out those invites to everybody later on today. So I want to thank you again, Your Excellency, for joining us, for gracing us with your presence. I look forward to meeting you in person. Thank you to my board members. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Moses, for being here. And that's it. That's the end. So we're going to hop offline now. And I will speak to you, Your Excellency, and figure out when we can all come and meet with you.
Okay.
And Joe, we'll put you on our email list. We'll stay in touch with you.
Yeah,
and
please.
Send you out the invite for the after party as well. So thank you, Terry. Thank you, LD. Thank you, Laji. Thank you, Ose. I told you we'll be quick. And enjoy the rest of your day.
Bye-bye,
Thanks, everyone.
All right, thank you.
Hi, everyone.
Thank you.
All right, bye-bye.